Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Talented Learning Executive Briefing Series. This is my favorite series of content because we get to travel the world wide virtually and review the best learning management and the best learning technology solutions that are out there. And today's no different. We have the Crowd Wisdom LMS up today. We're going to learn about the business of it, a little bit about the history, their differentiators, and we're going to be able to see a nice solid demo, and I can't wait to do it. So Phil, all yours. Welcome to the Talented Learning.
Hey, thank you, John. Great. This is a great series. I love watching all the various customers that you have and be able to see what's happening out there in the learning space. So yes, my name is Phil Vervaet. I'm with Crowd Wisdom learning platform. I've been here 10 years. Kind of been through a lot of different roles. I started as a systems engineer way back in the day, but now my title is Vice President of Operations. So I get involved in a lot of solutions with not only prospects, but then also our existing clients as their learning programs are growing. So I look forward to kind of walking through it, telling you a little bit more about Crowd Wisdom.
All right.
So we, Crowd Wisdom, we have a very flexible platform that we've been building over the last 14 years. And then as we continually grow with our clients, our clients do inform our roadmap. About 80% of what goes in are things that they want to build into it as well. And then our own innovation. And then we work in a collaborative way. So very flexible, tailored to meet, unique learner needs. We are always looking for more engagement. Obviously now the big trend is more towards like a learning experience platform and how we are addressing that kind of need and really tailor more towards the learner so they get, the most out of the learning program, what either their company or the organization is providing for them. So yes, our background, we were founded in 2006. I'm based here in Chicago. So we do have an office here in Chicago. This was our headquarters. And then a lot of our other team was in the DC area. About 50 members currently, about 200 clients, sorry, that should be 200 current customers that we have. And we are a professional digital learning platform, 100% SaaS-based in Amazon's cloud. We do have one other server that's in mainland China, serving that population, due to some of the, rules there in terms of being able to access different content and that type of thing. So those firewalls. So definitely a history of winning awards, not only for the learning platform. One of the things we're going to take a look at today is our assessment engine, which is one of our big differentiators as well. But then we do quite a bit of content development. We have groups coming to us that want to make sure that their current content that maybe they've had over the past some 50 years, make sure it's adapted into a more digital and kind of online type of experience for them. So, and we have subject matter experts, obviously within the learning platform, but then if we do need some instructional design help and that type of thing as well. So we do, one of the things, you buy a platform, you want to make sure you have a really good implementation team. And we do have very good project managers. We have a playbook that we kind of walk through, that we would go through with any new clients that go through various levels of discovery in terms of your content and your data and how it needs to look, branding and all that as well. So, and then whatever content you want migrated, maybe you're pulling that out of an existing LMS, you need to get that content into our system as well. So we have, several factors or several modules, features within the system. Again, our testing and assessment engine is something that we'll take a look at. It's definitely one of our differentiators. At the end of the day, if a client is really looking for some extensive assessment and exam prep, and they want a full LMS behind that. That is something that is definitely a key differentiator for us. Catalog, I mean, we can, we're very flexible. The whole invisible LMS, headless LMS factor, where some people want their whole experience to be on their CRM, their e-commerce site. And then we just kind of become like the content engines launching that, tracking the information very much behind the scenes. But some people do like to use our catalog as well for their, to display, search content out. So we do have a catalog that comes into play as well. A lot of community features, both at the platform level as well as at the course level. So we have discussion forums. We mainly see them at the course level where people want to be more engaged. That can also be part of completion, where people have to be able to, reply to different questions that maybe the facilitator or instructor are asking, and make that much more of a community feature as well. So personalization, yes, we talked a little bit about, definitely the trend towards making it much more personalized. That is something that we've throughout the years have developed a really inbuilt system, but then also looking at some of the AI machine learning things that can be built in to even make those recommendations much more tailored. So integration, we have a whole set of APIs that we allow for integrating, be it a CRM, be it third-party content, be it webinar vendors. Integration is one of those differentiators for us as well. It's kind of a best in breed. Like if there's something else out there that you want to integrate that does something really well, and it's better served to be integrated within our system, we're definitely open to doing that as well. So, and then certainly content promotion with any type of email marketing or marketing campaign software that you guys have. So.
Great.
All right. So yeah, ideal customers. I mean, we typically like to work with organizations that are more like the mature learning platforms. Maybe they've had some other platforms and programs that they've started, but kind of want to take it to that next level. We work really well with those groups. They know where they want to go. We can kind of meet that need of some of those more mature programs, looking to kind of bring it up to another level. We really work well with groups that already have a vision, and we have a shared vision as we approach launch and what you're trying to accomplish. And then just a good awareness of, the learner needs. They've done their research. They know what, maybe done some surveys and marketing around what their needs are, and then us being able to incorporate that into our platform as well. So typically, mid to larger type organizations, that could be an association, but it could be like one of those extended enterprises. So it might not be their corporate LMS to do like compliancy training, but they have an audience they need to reach, like a channel partner program that our system fits those needs very well. So some of those key differentiators, everyone knows there's a lot to choose from out there. I'm not sure, John, you probably have the stat better than I, but 700 plus LMSs out there. So, why would people come to us is some of those differentiators. One is that assessment engine in exam prep. So there's some exam prep tools out there, and there's, good assessment engines. We definitely combine that as a standalone, but it's kind of built right in and kind of all part of our content engines and how they all connect within our system. So we'll take a look at one of those examples as well. So another differentiator is our B2B institutions module. A newer feature that we built into there is like hierarchies. This is becoming much more popular. The B2C for a long time, we're the learning group and we want to reach our learners. But now more and more of our clients are saying we're a learning group, but we have affiliates, or we have divisions, or we have customers that also have learners that they want to track. So building that out. So it's not only just building it out one-to-one, meaning you're the maybe the association, and then you have a hospital system. It's like that hospital system, they may have multiple hospitals. In those hospitals, they have departments. In those departments, they have managers. And how do you work that whole hierarchy? And then the reporting on the back of those, where, again, me as a manager should just see the people who report to me. Then maybe a divisional manager or program manager sees a much broader set of reports, and then up that chain as well. So, and part of that is maybe carving out a piece of your LMS and actually branding it specifically for that group. And we'll take a look at that in the demo as well.
Cool.
Yeah, so then we have what's called a condition tree. This is a newer feature, and it's definitely been a differentiator. We've been running what we call conditions. It's a really like a rules-based engine. Let me just play this really quick as we kind of walk through it. But it's a bunch of like if-and statements. So as we talked about, where these groups start having a very diverse and broad audience, how do you get the people into the right content? And you could do these if-and. So what we're seeing here is like, if this person belongs to this group, then okay, great. That's one segmentation of content that we know. Now, if within that condition, they have to take a certain course that's a prerequisite to another course, we can control that through this rules engine, right? So it's like, don't even show this other course until they complete this course. So this can get, Intel is one of our clients, and if you saw their kind of condition trees, they have quite a bit of segmentation going on. Like they have two big areas that they really support. One are all their distributors, so people that are distributing products that have Intel chips processors in them. The other ones are, Intel technology partners. And those could be like the Accentures and the Capgeminis of the world that are using Intel's products to kind of build solutions for their customers. So that might be the first reason why we kind of use this rule engine to divide those two up and get them into the right location. But then on this next slide, you'll see we even bring it to another level where we're collecting user attributes. So typically what we want to do, and this is another feature kind of built in, where, first, back in the day, everything came through SSO, right? So you have this big payload coming over to your system, and it might have, that first top level. Are you a distributor? Are you a technology partner? Where are you located? What's your language preference? Are you a systems engineer? Are you a programmer? So, if that all came through SSO, that could be a heavy payload. Now what we do is we get them over to our system, we authenticate them. And we bring over very little data just to get them in, make sure they fit their rules in terms of being authenticated on our system. Then we use this and we start pulling in user attributes. So it's another call that's made. And of course, this is all very fast. And we bring in these attributes as long as there's an endpoint that the customer has in their CRM that we can hit that has member profile, then we can bring that in. And then based on those attributes and based on those conditions, we display what that learner needs. So again, it goes back to that personalization and what, not only what the learner needs, but again, they have large customers, right? What does that customer want their learners to know? So it's not only just my preferences, and I like to look at Internet of Things or that type of thing, but it's also like me as the customer, I want my learners to learn this content. So again, you could start bringing in certain attributes into our system that really identify who this person is, and then display that the right content to them. So
awesome. Love it.
All right, so now the fun part. Definitely want to look into the demo here and show you some live sites.
All right.
So give me 1 second. I'm going to pause and bring up some sites here. All right. Any questions, John, while I'm bringing up this first example?
No, that's really that was, yeah, that's a lot of great information. The condition tree is really cool, and I have never heard of more feedback than questions. I never understood exactly that SSO concept and how that was working, but it's really interesting to see how you've basically end arounded that to be super fast and super personalized. That's really interesting.
That's good.
And the B2B institutional model, I mean, that's just great too, because the B2B to B to B to B, I mean, it just keeps going. It is really an interesting development in our industry, especially in the content distribution, syndication business of really trying to get the most horsepower out of your content by having everybody selling it, across your whole value network. It's really cool stuff happening in 2022.
Thanks. Yeah, to keep it fresh too, I want to show you something new that we have that that we rolled out. Again, we say it's new, right? But these things have been baking in the background. Like, we released it, we make sure it's fully baked, go through a lot of testing, make sure it's ready for the rest of our other clients as well. But this is something we call our context editor.
Hey, we're on the slide deck in non-presentation.
Oh, okay. Okay, give me 1 second here.
Yep.
Switch.
Dual monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, audience. So this isn't my first go around with crowd wisdom. I'd say I probably had 50 plus demonstrations in the last 10 years. So I'm glad everybody's getting the chance to catch up to me.
Great. So this is what we call our new context editor. So one of the things, people wanted to, how can we get something going quickly, or at least a pilot going quickly? So, shortening that implementation time is always important, but they want to have a lot more control over the branding. So we have this context editor that we've built in here. So let me show you a couple things. So basically what this allows us to do, like if I wanted to come in here and so we could start with a kind of a basic template. Let's just say I wanted to edit the logo here. And then this is I fall short of saying it's a WYSIWYG. I mean, it's very intuitive in terms of once you start learning how to use the tool, but it has everything from much more configuration. And this is built on the newest technology. This is a React front end. And why that's kind of important as well is this is not server side where things may load, like it has to pull everything in from the server. This is client side technology where much more kind of resides within the browser. So, but if I wanted to, I clicked on that, I just want to make a quick edit to the logo and change it there. You see quickly, I just added, Talented Learning logo there. If I needed to change colors, I'm able to do that very quickly without any issues. I could change, any one of these panels. These are all editable very quickly, and we could set something up very fast. All these are panels or widgets that we could set up. The panels are also controlled by condition trees, or that conditions that we talked about. So I could say this panel. So you see here, this is this one of our clients. This is Kiwanis. So give me 1 more second. Let me get back to a view here we can take a look at.
They're going to wonder who Town and Learning is.
Oh, I didn't go live. So you can always set it up. And before you actually go live, you have to release that. But let me go here and log in as a Key Club member.
A more positive reaction would be like, what is our favorite blog doing with their logo here?
So Yeah, let me go through how we set this up. So maybe a little bit more about that condition. So first thing we would do is like set up what we call bundles. So this is Kiwanis. They have a Key Club, which is more for like high school leadership programs. And then they have what's called CKI, which are for college level leadership programs. And now they're just going to be bringing in a third group over to us that is more adult learning. So what we wanted to do is they wanted to distinguish between those few, right? So first thing we would do is like build a bundle and make sure that we put the courses that are for each one of those groups into those bundles. And then a very simple kind of condition is we allow, that condition tree that we just looked at, anyone with these groups would have access to that bundle, and anyone with CKI group would have access to a completely different bundle. So, just that's like from a condition in a bundle, that's a kind of a top level and how that works. What's nice about this condition as well, we have this evaluate where I can find out, does a person actually, fit that condition? So you can test. Again, these trees can get very long. It's like, I want to see if this person that I intend to get here actually gets there. So you can evaluate. So then, everyone that kind of has that same profile would get to that same bundle as well. But then I had mentioned that we can also control some of those, the panels on that front. So let me log in as one of these groups here. All right, so this is a Key Club member, and you can see we control, and again, very simple. We control this panel that says Hello Key Club International Member. CKI gets the other ones, and that's very simple. This could go, I could change all the colors, I could change a lot of different things. These panels can display different things based on the conditions that I set up. And again, they would get this learning program. So, and this is a learning path. They do have a full catalog, like they will have catalogs of a bunch of courses, but much more we have seen that people are like, I'm a busy professional. You send me down a learning pathway, a path. You tell me the things I need to learn. And at the end, maybe get a certificate, a badge, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. So this is our programs module that again is built into this new React framework. And they're set up by competency. So each track is a competency, and inside the competency, we worked with their content development team to kind of build this out. So let me launch one of these here. So they use articulate storyline. I mean, we are SCORM compliant. One of the things we're released this year as well is going into 2004, much more kind of multi-SCO, being able to launch those larger SCORMs, as well as XAPI, and being able to bring in through a partner of ours, a learning record store and that type of thing as well. So, but they wanted to go through this. This is a Articulate Rise course. But then once they saw our assessment engine, they said, hey, we're going to break that out. We're going to have the assessments built into your system, not into that SCORM. We've been seeing much more of that where people are setting up packages and they're only breaking out the interaction of the SCORM. So it could be just a very small SCORM set at different levels and then bringing in those videos. So again, it's kind of breaking out of that, fully rendered one publishing course. It's like, let's break it up into more of those microbytes, use the different parts of the system, the video player, the test engine, the survey engine. And then you get a lot more rich data back as well with our reporting. So that's how that program is set up. But again, controlling that through those conditions and making sure people get into the right place. We're going to set up another one again for this more adult learning as well. So,
love it.
Right.
You guys are right on top of all the good trends: personalization, adaptive learning, AI, assessment. Those are all things that are super hot.
All right, so let's take a look at that B2B, because that, as you just mentioned, that is an area that people are certainly seeing from a revenue generation. If I could sell a whole organization and get multiple, sales instead of just kind of that B2C one-offs, it is definitely a trend that we're seeing, and it's been going for a while. But how do we bring that to the next level? And we talked a little bit about that, from the hierarchies and being able to set up structures even within those groups. So
it's like a nice circle of success. Those type of organizations, what they have to invest in an LMS and what they get at a return out of it, is just exponentially different than what you get at a return of an employee LMS. And that causes these organizations to want to make stuff better and better all the time, because it's so valuable. It's so valuable to them. And so you guys are right on the cutting edge of that, of pushing that part of the industry forward. It's really exciting.
Yeah. Yes. So here's our next example when we're talking B2B. Their whole model, this is the National Association for Electronic Distributors. Their whole model is they have various electronic supply houses, distributing companies that are their customers. So they approach it a couple different ways here. So they do certainly have a full course catalog. You can see they even bring in some of their customers, their clients who want to sell content here as well. They also have an integration with like Skillsoft for some of their courses. And so that's the traditional model, right? You have a dashboard that's a little personalized for me, featured courses, catalog of courses. They are using what we had looked at, that programs module, to be much more tracks based, put a bunch of content in tracks. So this is one of my demo testers, so we don't have a bunch of content in here, but you could set it up in those tracks to give more of a learning plan. And then certainly an area for your transcript, courses you're enrolled in, that type of thing in your transcript. So that's kind of like the top level, right? But then they offer this to their customers. So let me show you how that may look here. Get a different view. All right, so if I log in as one of their customers. So this is one of their customers, right? Acme Electric Supply Company. You can see it's branded specifically for them. Their model is they still have that same dashboard we looked at. They still offer the catalogs to anyone who's getting through the customer. Basically, if I'm at Acme, they buy a seat for me to get access to the learning platform. My specific learning plans that we just looked at here as well. And then these are the courses my company purchased for me on the system. So these are ones that, again, integration with Skillsoft, bring in some of that third-party content. All the content still sits on Skillsoft. The way this model works is they have just a small little dispatch file. It's like a SCORM, or it could be done through like AICC, where it's just kind of launching into theirs, but then tracking everything back into Cloud Wisdom. So now this person is actually set up as one of those company administrators as well. So they do get to see the courses that their company is offering, the products. They have a whole set of their own reports. And then, yes, we do offer some advanced reports through one of the partners, John, Authentic Learning Labs. And we have integrations with them that have really nice dashboards. Me as a busy professional, I just want to see how my people are doing. So it's displayed in a very nice way as well. So, and then be able to track program progress. So that's that first level from an administration standpoint. And we do have it set up in the background for that, where this person would only see the people that report to them. Then there's another level in that type of thing. So now this group as well, offers, and they have we have a what's called a roles builder in our system, and you could build different roles to give people different privileges and access to different parts of the system. This group allows these folks, these company admins, to upload their own content as well, just like a main admin. I think they do go through some approval process with like what they want available on the system, but they do allow them to, upload content into the system as well.
Nice.
All right. So one other role I did want to say that let you know that we have coming out here to log into our test environment. That is something we're going to be rolling out here. Get over here. And a lot of it was based on this. So that group has like a body of knowledge that they want to have all the people in that industry to kind of go through. So it's kind of one of those premier, like #1 type products that they're kind of known for, because they have the subject matter expertise. But we have a new role built in. Right now it's in our test mode, but we're going to be rolling this out. It's being piloted. Let me grab that here. All right. So this is what we call our reviewer mode. So we already do quite a bit of like virtual instructor led, where there's facilitators and there's got to be like an instructor that has to give assignments, and those assignments are part of completion, and that's all built into our grade book. So if you've ever experienced Crowd Wisdom, we have a grade book feature. The new feature we built into this is what we call a reviewer role. So it's a new role. NAD is kind of the pilot for that. So basically for those assignments, it kind of is going to be able to do back and forth, meaning I, as a learner, submit my assignment. Now it's going to go to a reviewer that can review it, and there could be multiple reviewers. So I can actually, review a certain assignment, and I can reject it. I can give comments. I could send it back for rework. I can accept it and kind of move on to the next assignment, and then send that all back. And then there's communications back and forth between me as the reviewer and the learner, and when things are being submitted. A lot of this did come out over the last couple of years, where people, even they were doing classroom-based, wanted to bring more online, people working remote and that type of thing. And so, we certainly saw that trend and started working a lot more on those features within our gradebook, our instructor role, and how do we bring that and start enhancing it. One of the first things we're rolling out is this new reviewer role that is going to be available. So I did just want to mention that as well. So a lot of this is, we see a lot more people wanting to engage in a lot more community, but when you have everyone so remote and doing things remotely, kind of bringing that experience all online as well.
Cool. Love it.
All right. Okay. So another thing that I showed you was our Himalaya test engine. I mentioned a few different times. So let's take a look at that and show you how a few of our clients are using that. Okay, so this is the association. These are emergency physicians, and one of their big premier products that they offer is a way to do exam prep. And you can just imagine a emergency physician, the body, like what they have to learn, right? In terms of like, you never know what's going to walk in the door. Exactly. So let me take a look, and I'm going to launch this. So this is what we call the peer review. And again, going back, with Kiwanis, we saw competencies. For this, it's a body of knowledge based on anatomy, right? So it's all the different disorders that they can see walking in the door and how they need to address it. So this tool, this is our Himalaya test engine, the self-assessment prep part of that, that Himalaya test engine, where it provides like study tools. You could do the simulated exam because, again, I want to practice before I go in. So it can fit exactly the rules that are needed. Is it timed? Can you skip questions, not skip questions? We have question banks that can randomize the questions. It can also randomize the distractors, the answers, jumble those up. So it's a different experience each time. But again, it's all about, knowing the subject matter, and then build a quiz. And then we have this confidence level here as well. So an interesting case study, we work with the perioperative registered nurses. So these are the nurses that are in those operating rooms. One thing that they do is they use a prep tool like this, and they want those nurses to be 100%, get 100% of the questions. So have the knowledge with 100% confidence. So it doesn't complete unless you go through it. And again, you have multiple attempts, you can keep working through it. And they want 100% knowledge that you got all the questions right with 100% confidence. And that actually made me feel real good, right?
I was going to say,
it's
I want
those
that 100%
nurses
too.
know what they're doing. Yeah, exactly. You want them to know what they're doing, but then you want them to be confident in it, right? Multiple choice, I can guess, always guess C, right? People say, always guess C if you don't know the answer. So that confidence is important. Plus, again, it's a self tool. Like, there's reporting on the back of this, but it's for me to really study and, I'm going to give my confidence in true fashion, because then on the back end, I could say, only show me the courses, the questions that I wasn't confident in. So again, you can kind of build a quick little quiz here. And then you can go to the next step. Is it study mode? Do I want it in test mode? It goes through all the body, like everything they may need to know. I can randomize those questions. So maybe right now we'll just, I'll just grab it from the whole body of question banks here. And maybe just the ones I didn't answer. But again, these are busy professionals, so I don't have time to take 100 questions. So I may want to crank that back a bit, right? So just deliver up, right now let's do 3 and see, and then I can start that. So then it'll give me 3 questions here. So we have like cross-out features built in. Again, in study mode, I can ask certain questions, take my own notes based on this topic area, save those notes, download those notes. I could mark certain questions for future use. I can rate these, and this is very helpful for the organization too. Like, how do I rate the question? Is it good or not good? And then we do have some accessibility tools built in, which again is something we see a lot of our companies really looking at ADA, come here in the 4th quarter, going into 2023. So building in some more accessibility into our tools. So, but if I go ahead and let's just, like I said, I'll pick C just to see what we come up with here. But it also gives you reasoning, right? It says, okay, that is incorrect, but why is it incorrect? And where can I find more information about this particular topic? And where was this question pulled from within the body of knowledge? How am I comparing to my peers? I chose C and it was B, give you a little peer comparison as well. So this is one of those tools that quickly become a kind of a top seller for our groups. Not only can you take courses and maybe earn credits, but I can also go there and study. And it's a great tool. Like, as soon as most of them are either based on a subscription, or once you buy it, you have it, you can continue to use it. And if needed, you got some additional like tools on the side here that you can utilize as well.
Man, that's cool.
Now this is extended, sort of like that reviewer mode that we talked about. Let me sign in as a different role. So one of the things that this group wanted to do was extend this to what they call their program directors. So again, these are the emergency physicians, medical schools all over the world may want to have access to this. And instead of what you saw before was like that, that supervisor, that institution, director, these are actual program directors that are the program director for that medical school within emergency physicians. They want to be able to create and give assignments. So that's what this allows them to do. So now I can create a, pop quiz, roll out 10 questions to everyone that has to answer. So the ability to, create assignments within here is another step that we brought this to, because again, it's great. I got to get it myself, but then how do I extend that Himalaya test engine to also say, pull those same questions out of that question bank, and then, give an assignment that they have to finish a certain amount of questions and that type of thing as well. Mm-hmm. People do use that test engine for case studies as well, meaning I can have a whole, like what they call the STEM. I could build in videos and images and build a true case study in the Himalaya test engine. And then what is your best choice at the bottom? So we do have some groups like sending those out, each week. That would be like a case study, answer the one question. And then again, since it's a test engine functionality, all that data is coming back to our system as well.
Wow. Love it.
Great. All right. Yeah, this is the stuff that I enjoy, showing some of the work that we've done. So if you don't mind, John, I'm just going to keep showing some additional examples here.
All right. Let's go.
So again, we talked about using that Himalaya test engine for prep, but then you can also just use like our traditional courses, right? So these are like more the orthopedic surgeons. So this is one of their practice prep plans. So it's also bringing in content along with that test engine, right? Utilizing what we call our welcome page and being able to give some front matter. So to earn CME, you have to talk about learning objectives and disclosures and everything else. And this is just an open HTML. It's a product type within our system that you can really make these look, how you want them to look. And then all the different modules, just like we saw where it was the different, disorders. This could be based on various modules as well within those principles. And then, going through, again, one of our knowledge checks inside of here, using our test engine, but then recommended reading. So of course, every various product types can come into our system as well. So, and then you can claim credit. So based on their rules and what has to be completed, is it based on exams? Is it based on just getting through the materials? You can claim those credits. Typically, that's another integration we either have going back to their system of record, or often we send it right to their credentialing board or whoever is collecting those credits. So a lot of this could be like a maintenance of a certification as well. So,
Wow, good stuff.
Okay. All right. So I know we're coming up on time. One additional feature here.
So much to show, so little time.
Exactly.
Considering we've been on a bunch of 3-hour presentations together, I know you can keep going.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It was meant as one.
Maybe not. All right. So I know I had mentioned this, and we talked a lot about, how exciting that conditions and the condition rules-based product that we have. So I just wanted to show you, and I had mentioned that, so Intel, right? So this is what I was talking about, just how you could build out these wrapper conditions and get people into the right content. And again, this is kind of a little bit more extensive, But again, it goes through, is it based on their group? Is it based on another attribute that we're pulling in? Is it their language preference, that type of thing? So just want to let you know, and show that, they're not our conditions. Like none of this is like our property values. It's things that you as an organization want to create. We don't determine that. And then you can create those various conditions within our system here. And then, add those into your program, again, to make it much more personalized and get the people where they need to get to. So,
wow, we're a long way from job and location as being the job, role, and location were the three qualifiers for decades on, the way that you can be adaptive. Now this is like light years away from that.
Yeah, absolutely. So
any data they have, any data the client has, any data can be brought in then as these profile.
Yeah, as long as it's accessible, right? Like we do have some groups, we got to have an endpoint to be able to hit. And if it all exists within their member's profile and their CRM, we could bring that into our system here. So
cool. All right. Well, that's a great, now listeners, you know why I said it's my favorite series of content. You just can't learn this kind of stuff anywhere else. Phil, this is great. We play in the same sandbox all the time because I like to write about and consult with clients who are buying and deploying extended enterprise, and you guys like to have those same clients, and so it's I get to follow your organization closely because of that. But the things that you do well are really differentiators, of course, but that's not always the case. A lot of times vendors do things well and they're not differentiators, but it turns out that the things that you do well they're special for the content as a business and for extended enterprise. And so, just a couple of them. The assessment engine is obviously one, the B2B institutional model and delegated administration, and be able to have multiple layers of that for the syndication business and the B2B to B2B business is just so hot right now, and such a deficiency in most LMSs. So taking that by the horns is great. The condition tree, I just wrote a blog post 2 or 3 weeks ago on automation and learning management system about this very thing, and a popular trend that's vendors are doing at different levels. I consider that you guys are right at the cutting edge of what's possible on that of what I've seen. I love the content editor and just the whole concept of that, of being able to shine the front of that site up for any of that B2B institutional model is really great. And really just the test engine in general. I know I mentioned that assessment engine, but it's just so much more than what a typical LMS would do, and being able to create quizzes and tests. But the concept of the pre and the pros test, the concept of peer and having the reviews, and then creating your own quiz and having it all tied and working towards proficiency and tying in your confidence, all that is just super cool. And for any high stakes exam, it's like a mandatory feature set that you almost see nowhere. I know it exists out there, but it's so rare. So all of those are just great places to double down on your differentiation and keep on extending your lead in the market in those, because that's pretty cool. So with that being said, if you are an association, if you're a for-profit training company, if you're mature, you got a good program and you're looking to take it to the next level, or if you're in customer and partner and channel learning on the corporate side of the business and you want to take it to the next level, Crowd Wisdom is a good option to look at. So there you have it. Phil, thanks for coming today and sharing about information about your organization and solution. It was really exciting, and it's great to have you.
Great. Thanks, John. Really appreciate it.
All right. Awesome. Listeners, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next. Find more of our independent resources at Untitled Learning.